All right, Moto, here we go.
Hmm.
Three, two, one. Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of Cast of Strong Style. I'm your host, Don Delarente, and of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Miss Moto. Hello, Moto.
Hi, hey, Don. How are you?
I'm good, Moto. I'm good. It's good to talk to you again.
Good to hear from you again too. It's been a while, but I'm glad, very glad to be here again.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Just to let everybody know, as always, you can listen to Cast of Strong Style on CSPN. You can find us at cspn.us. You can also find us on wrestlecast.tumblr.com. You can also find us on SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio. You can also find us through any app through iPod, Apple, or Android. So, of course, we are in G1 season in New Japan, the most grueling exhibition of wrestling that you will find anywhere in the world. As this is a, what is it? I know it's 12 matches to
Yes,
get to the
sir.
finals.
Mm-hmm.
And so that goes over the span of almost a month. I think it's just short of a month. It's within like 3 weeks. I think it's like 21 days. I think is how they space it out.
That is true. It goes from July 17th to August 13th. So this is a long, grueling tournament.
Right. And so we are right in the middle of it as they just finished, wrapped up night 8 as of recording. So we will go through the first 7 nights here on this show, and then we'll come back for episode 11, give you the wrap up, and then we'll have hopefully a special episode to talk about the finals. And who knows what the finals could be? Very interesting points are shaping up right now. So we'll get right into it. Night 1, Block A, very first match of the tournament. We have Yuji Nagata in his last G1 climax versus Yoshihashi and his wig. Yoshihashi hits Nagata with the lung blower. Yoshihashi follows that up with Karma, and Yoshi gets the victory, and Yoshihashi has the first 2 points in this year's G1 Climax.
I really like this match. Really, really like this match. It was just like every guy just started off just throwing everything at each other. And I like the winner, though I did want Yuji Nagata to win too.
Crowd very much behind Yuji Nagata. Actually, when we'll get this out of the way at the beginning, because we've got a lot to talk about, I wanted to know this. Did you watch this under the US commentary or the Japanese commentary?
This match I did in Japanese commentary, but I wanted to go back and forth to see the difference between the two. And I have to say, the English commentary is improving, and I'm very, very happy with Kevin Kelly and Steve Carino at commentary.
That's not Steve Carino anymore. Steve Carino has moved on to
Oh, that's
NXT.
right.
It's now Don Callis,
That's right.
aka Cyrus the Virus, aka the Jackal.
Yes, the Jackal. My apologies. That's right. It is Don Callis. Again, an improvement, a very big improvement from other people who will remain nameless, who I've called out before. I like these two, and they make it a lot more exciting for the English audiences.
All right. Yeah, I was very interested to get your take on the English commentary team of Kevin Kelly and Don Callis. So our next match would be Bad Luck Fale versus Makabe. Makabe tries for the King Kong knee drop, but Fale puts his arm out and grabs Fale by the Makabe by the throat. Fale then hits Makabe with the grenade, and he gets the win. So Fale has 2 points.
This match was better than I thought it would be, um, but not by that much. They both worked for it, and I thought it was an okay match at best, and it's basically what I expected at the end of the day. But overall, good match to see.
Mhm. Next up, Goto versus Ishii. Goto survives Ishii long enough to hit the GTR, and he gets a hard-earned victory for his first 2 points of the tournament. This was a hard-hitting clothesline, slap fest, chop fest. Ishii's doing this new thing where he's chopping people in the throat with his forearm. Oh, it looks so vicious.
I mean, we all knew what we were going to get with this match. Hard hitting, Steve. Just, I always say the Steve match. And if you like that hard hitting stuff, you like it, you like your headbutts, you like your chops, this is the match for you. I'm very glad this went the way it was. Very hard fought. And I was going to be happy with whoever won this match. But
Right,
congratulations to Goto.
right. Next up, Zack Sabre Jr. versus the Ace, Tanahashi. Tanahashi goes for the high five flow, but Zack Sabre Jr. gets his knees up. Zack then gets Tanahashi in the submission hole. While Zack Sabre Jr. has Tanahashi in the submission hole, he rips off the bandage on Tanahashi's injured arm. After some joint manipulation, Tanahashi submits and Zack Sabre Jr. scores an upset over the Ace. Great match, of course. Zach at first was trying to, not even work his arm, was trying to kind of, stand toe to toe with him. But then he finally did get to the arm, and he was kind of working over his whole body. He was like started with like his legs, then he kind of moved to his midsection, then he kind of worked his way to his arm, and then once I think it's the octopus hold he got on him, and then he kind of, started working that bad arm. Just good storytelling and very logical. And Zack Sabre Jr. gets the points.
Well, there's that Zack Sabre Jr. praise I was waiting for. Um, great match overall. Highly technical, but that's to be expected because Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the best technicians in the world. I mean, Tanahashi with his right arm, that's a bullseye for any person he's wrestling. And of course, Zack Sabre Jr. was going to target it, and he did. From the shoulder to the fingertip, he had it. He would have strikes to each portion, would stomp on Tanahashi's elbow, bend back his hand. I mean, he did it all. And if Tana wouldn't bend enough for a lot of these holds, Zach would actually make him bend by kneading his flesh with his fist to make it easier for him. That's not to say that Tanahashi didn't have offense. I mean, after doing his usual chops and powerful strikes, he tried to change tactics, targeting Zach's left knee. He would also work his way out of many of Zach's holds and get it so that Zach's knee would end up getting the damage. However, in the end, it was Zack Sabre Jr.'s tenacity and persistence that whittled Tana down to tap. I got to tell you, I didn't even cheer. I literally just said, damn, son, watch this match.
Mm-hmm. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Our main event from the A block in night one, Kota Ibushi versus Naito. Ibushi connects with palm strikes, but misses with the kick, which leads to Naito hitting the Destino. Ibushi kicks out at 2. Naito then hits the second Destino and gets the win over Kota Ibushi, and Naito gets his first 2 points of the tournament. My version is very condensed down, so it's just like kind of the last 30 seconds of the match. This is a match of the year candidate right here, and it's not a 45-minute epic. It's like a 22-minute, and they go and they throw down. This is a very, very, very good match. Can't tell you how much Ibushi stepped up because everybody was wondering, does he really belong in this tournament? Is he really a heavyweight? We know what he can do as a junior, but can he stay in there with these guys who hit a little bit harder? And he definitely got tested by Naito, and he came through.
I mean, I didn't have any doubts on Ibushi's ability, and if you did, once you watch this match, you won't have it anymore. This was a hell of a match, starting with the lockup. I mean, after setting Kota out, Naito does the running of the ropes and flipping to lie down on the side. Like, the crowd was heavily for Naito in this match. And Kota got visibly annoyed to start off with. And then later on with the spot with Kota's neck, like, Naito did like a neck breaker on the apron. I was like, geez. And that's what he targeted for a lot of the match. And he did kicks, chops, and more neck breakers. And then it became that like Ibushi was like getting worn down, so the crowd started to even go for Ibushi at this point. And then when he hit the golden triangle moonsault, which is one of his signatures, the crowd went wild and they chanted his name fervently. And that sequence when Naito goes for the Gloria and then Kota gets out of it, but then Naito gets the Insiguri and then Kota does a German suplex into the bridge pin. I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all got to watch this. And there was a point where Kota did like a whole bunch of kicks to his chest, to Naito's chest. And Naito had that face like, damn, am I supposed to be a wrestler right now? He was just shocked. He went toe to toe. They went the distance, these two, and it was a hell of a match. I love this match. Must see match of the tournament.
Right. Great way to close out night 1. So night 2, it's time for the B block to get their first night of action. We start off with Juicy Robinson versus Kojima. You never heard the announcer, that other announcer, call him that?
I've heard it. You were very fond of saying it like that. Did you say? So I just
I
makes
love
me
it.
chuckle.
It gives him some personality.
He has personality, sir.
Gives him a little bit more personality. I pop every time I hear his name announced like that. Well, he's going against Kojima in the first night of the B block. So Juice, after almost being beaten, finally hits his big left hand. Juice follows that up with the pulp friction, and Juice Robinson gets a win in his first night ever competing in the G1. Kojima is supposed to be like his mentor, I guess. He was the guy that in the dojo, he was basically Kojima's young boy.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a pretty special match for Juice Robinson. He was very emotional after the match. Good showing for Juice. Like I said, he's definitely the most improved wrestler, not only in New Japan, but probably in all of wrestling.
I would definitely agree. And what I like so much about Juice is that it seems that he's not stopping. Everyone has acknowledged that he's improved, and a lot of wrestlers would just stop there, but no, he keeps going further and further. And this match was definitely a sign of that. I liked in the beginning where Kojima hit Juice with a nice DDT followed up by some chops, and then he planted Juice hard on the apron. Juice went back with the chops followed by the strikes. I like Juice's rolling senton, the spine buster. He's just getting more cleaner, more crisp in his movement, and more powerful in his movement as well. So congratulations to Juice. I like this match. It's just good stuff.
Yeah, it was a very good opening match. Next up, we get the bad boy, Tama Tonga versus medium size, not as big, Mike Elgin. As Big Mike has lost weight considerably, and I'm not mad at him. He's on that same plan that I'm on. Get a little bit healthier and fitter for 2017. So Elgin appears to be going for a Falcon Arrow off of the top rope that Tama counters into the gun stun, and Tama gets the win and earns 2 points. Great finish and sequence. That looks so dope. And, as you said, Tama Tonga as a single, very intriguing.
I told y'all don't listen to me, but it's true. He looked good, and Elgin looked good too. Medium Michael looks great. Tama Tonga looks great and very handsome this match. I'll say that. No thirst, though. No thirst. And I'm going to ignore that. I will say that Tama starts off strong, but Elgin brushed off his strikes. Elgin has the momentum in the beginning with some strong slams, and I noticed there's a lot more chance for Tama in this match. So I think people are really starting to get behind him as a singles wrestler, and I definitely am behind him as a singles wrestler. We know Tama showed off a lot of power and speed when he slammed Elgin onto the mat outside of the ring, and that drop kick out of nowhere to Elgin. I just like this match, and I also like the emotion that Tama Tonga had when he pinned Elgin. He slammed the mat like 3 times. Like, yes, I did this. I can do this. And I'm rooting for him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely going to be having a lot of interest in his matches going forward. Next up, we got the Battle of Lij members, as we have Evil versus Sonata. Sonata gets the skull end on Evil, but Evil makes it to the ropes. Sonata then hits the moonsault, and Sonata gets the win, and Sonata earns 2 points. And they, throw the fist in at the end, and everybody's good. And, we can go back to being teammates again. So all's good here, nothing to see. But
Lies.
Sonata definitely, definitely on the come up.
I 100% agree. I liked his new attire. Did you notice the great, nice skull he's got going on for this for G1?
Yes, yes, I
He's,
do.
he's got a very ornate longhorn skull he's wearing to the ring now. I like his new attire. Like his new T-shirt, which I need to have. Also, he's a very handsome man. I'll note that. No thirst. And this match was really, really, really good. I like that they started off with the handshake, but then right after, Evil kicked him, and Evil just throwing chairs in the ring. Red Shoes gets distracted, and Sonata gets hit, and the crowd is actively chanting for Sonata. It's like he's already being pushed into this baby face role, and I can invest in this role, like a little Tanahashi just on the come up. And yes, I'm saying that. I can see it. With a lot of development and great booking, I can see him being like Tanahashi. Seriously. And
I Oh, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
no, I'm saying his athleticism was good too, but I'm interested. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say that um since unfortunately, when you have a major injury like Shibata had, it makes room for someone else to get a chance. So maybe they should put him in the spot, whatever they had for Shibata, whatever he was gonna be or have or do, just slide Sonata in there into that.
I can see that. I can see that happening, and I can see people really going for it, buying his merch, really investing in him, because the crowd was just it was just natural. It was so organic how they just chanted for him. It wasn't like it was out of nowhere. This I mean, Sonata's a star, and if they don't see it now, they need to. I'm sure they do
Mhm.
because they're
Yeah, I'm
smart
pretty sure they
folks.
do. He's like there's Seth Rollins before, like, he broke from the Shield.
Mm.
How he was the coolest part of, like, we saw the big guy, we saw the crazy guy, but the guy everybody really liked was Seth Rollins because he could do the best stuff. And that's how Sonata is.
Well,
I
that's kind of up for debate because Lij, everybody in Lij is very very skilled.
Yeah, they
Obviously,
are.
people have their limitations, but Hiromu's absolutely talented up there too.
I think that he's number two and he's taken over that kind of number two spot, and people kind of have pushed Sonata down in the pecking order, but he's definitely going to work his way back up.
Even if they push Sonata down, that's more reason for him to break away from Lij. But I already said that a long time ago.
I hope it doesn't happen for a while because you got to have somebody to replace him with, and I don't know who that would be.
But do you? But do you have to replace Sonata?
Yes,
Why?
because you got to have like a high flyer guy.
That's
Like,
true.
you know what I'm saying? Like Bushi's the lightweight guy, Evil's like the muscle. Um, Naito's the superstar, but you got to have that kind of in between guy who can fly and do all the flying stuff, who can help Bushi if he needs to, and the guy who can do all the heavyweight stuff type of stuff, who can help, you know,
You know,
Naito and Evil if he
but
needs to
but
there
but
too.
do you know who can do that?
Who?
Kota Ibushi.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Ooh. Coda coming out dressed up in the suits.
Come on, man. You see it. You see it.
Yeah, I do see it. Nice. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll definitely be looking out for the progress of Sonata through the tournament and later on this year. So next up, our favorite, Yano versus the Rainmaker, Okada. Okada makes Shano submit to the red ink, and it's nothing to see or hear, folks. Moving on.
Basically, what he said. Nothing to see here. It was a cute little cool down match. It was cute. Moving along.
Yep, yep. The main event of night two: Kenny Omega versus Minoru Suzuki. After series of V triggers to Suzuki, Omega hits the one-winged angel, and Kenny Omega gets the win to start out with 2 points, and as well Okada got 2 points as well for his win. So Okada and Omega neck and neck, starting off strong. Um, Kenny had a little bit tougher match than Okada did, but a win's a win.
A little bit. Okay.
It just slightly.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you go up against a Zeman versus the Joker. Okay. Anyway, this match was good. Very good, of course. From the stuff outside the ring to inside the ring, crowd was actively cheering for Kenny. It was very, very good, hard hitting as always. Of course, with the Suzuki gun interference, which is really tiresome at this point. It's just tiresome. But luckily, Chase Owens and Fale, even the odds, and that kind of evens things up. It's overall a good match when I expected. Also, I think a must watch for people.
hmm I sent you some YouTube links to a young Minoru Suzuki. In his days during Pancreas and UWF days, and so you could see what it was like as a young man torturing folks and doing the kind of shoot wrestling. Looks a lot like very what you would like MMA to be. Like, hey, okay, it's cool that y'all stand up and fight, but like get on the ground and try to make him tap out. Yeah, that's what it looked like. And yeah, he's very mean and very vicious, even as like a young man. He looked like young 20s man. So yeah, you guys, if you are fans of the older strong style, do a search for hashtag what we're watching. There's a bunch of All Japan, New Japan, strong style matches of like the Road Warriors, the British Bulldogs, just a bunch of stuff I kind of came across in a YouTube wormhole one night. Really cool stuff.
Check it out, folks.
Check it out, folks. We'd like to thank y'all for checking out Cast of Strong Style. Reminder that you can find us at Cast of Strong Style on Twitter, and you can also catch us right here at cspn.us, also wrestlecast.tumblr.com. So from night three to night seven, we're just going to go through and kind of highlight some of our favorite matches that happened. We'll kind of throw in some guys who won, but we'll pay special attention to some matches that we would prefer y'all go and watch and pick out, kind of cherry pick from each night. We opened up with Nagata versus Goto. Goto gets the win with the Goto Revolution. We had Makabe versus Ishii. Of course, hard hitting, what I call a Haas match. And Ishii wins with the vertical drop brainbuster. And he got his first 2 points of the tournament. Goto, with his win, has his fourth point of the tournament because he's won 2 matches. Then we had the darling of the summer that we thought we were going to get last year. We thought WWE was going to present something so epic. Everybody saw it coming. The two trains were on the track. They were ready to collide. On one side, you had Zack Sabre Jr. On the other side, you had Kota Ibushi, made for WWE Network. And it did not happen, as we got instead TJP versus Grand Metalik in the finals of the CWC. Great match in its own right, but not the dream match everybody was waiting for. But 1 year later, almost to the day, we get Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kota Ibushi, not in a cruiserweight tournament, but in a heavyweight tournament. and with a chance to be the main event of the Tokyo Dome if they eventually win this. It's a dream match. And it was only the third match on this card. It was fantastic. It was so good. But Kota Ibushi is in the clutches of the triangle choke. He lifts up Zack Sabre Jr. He gives him the last ride power bomb, and he gets the win. Ibushi gets his first 2 points of the tournament. The greatest thing about this match, there's a contrast of styles. You're gonna expect Ibushi to fly around the ring and hop off the ropes and do the golden triangle and do all the crazy moonsaults and flips. He didn't do any of that. He had a straight up wrestling striking match with Zack Sabre Jr. and it was so awesome, folks. Oh man, this was so good. It was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. It was Heinz 57. Good things come to those who wait.
Now, I just have to say right now, I have the best co-host ever, and I'm not even going to say anything about this match because Don said it all. Just wow, this I can't follow that. That was amazing, Don. Thank you.
Oh man, I didn't know about Zack Sabre Jr. really until the Cruiserweight Classic, but I definitely started following him more. I knew a little bit about Kota Ibushi coming in, and it was just like, man, and it was like, Kota Ibushi's a free agent, but he's not really doing anything. Zack Sabre Jr.'s wrestling everybody. He's in New Japan. I was like, man, maybe next year when they come back around to do the, juniors tournament, we'll get those two in the juniors tournament. It'll happen. But nope, they gave it to us in the G1 and it delivered. So hats off to those two guys. Y'all try to find that match. I'll maybe look around and kind of post some of these matches that we're highlighting underneath of what we were watching so y'all can just get a taste of what you're missing on a daily basis right now. Next up, we had night 4. That was kind of the best of that night. Bad Luck Fale and Tanahashi. Tanahashi used some old man maneuvers and he actually caught Fale, beat him on a count out. So, they tease the count out every match, but they actually, give somebody a win. It was Tanahashi. Smart move because Bad Luck Fale was really working on his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And the main event was Naito. He basically hit the Destino on Yoshihashi. Yoshihashi put up a good effort, but Naito was too much. So Tanahashi now has 2 points, and Naito has 4 points. So that was night 3. Night 4, Kojima and Yano. Yano doing his thing, used the ref, hit the low blow, got the roll up, got the win. So he got 2 points, first 2 points of the tournament. Evil, Juice Robinson. Oh man, nasty, nasty Tiger suplex. That Evil gives Juice in this match. Very much the highlight of the match to me. He hit him with the Everything is Evil, and Evil gets his first 2 points of the tournament.
Wait, but can we talk about how this was arguably Juice's best match of his career?
Because he came in with like the bad neck. Was this the match where he was doing the neck, where his
Yes.
neck was stiff? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He was selling his ass off, and then that, like I said, that Tiger suplex was no joke.
Yes. And then he did the diving headbutt off the top rope with that neck. Y'all, we talk about Juice. This is arguably one of the best matches of his career. Watch
Come
this
on,
match.
say it,
Come on.
say it with me, say it with me. Juice.
Juice. See, that was good. That was good.
Then we're gonna get to the back half of this card, and we're gonna say watch all 3 of these matches because, like, as a whole, this is probably like the strongest night of the tournament so far. We had Sonata versus Minoru Suzuki. Suzuki reverses the skull end into a rear naked choke, then stands Sonata up, and Suzuki gives Sonata the gut style pile driver, and he gets the win. This was a very good Sonata again, impressive. Minoru Suzuki, impressive too, keeping up with the young boy, using the tactics that he uses, to slow him down. He was cutting him off. It was like Sonata would get things going, and then he, used some old man tactics and cut him off and slow the match down. So very good match. Minoru Suzuki got his first 2 points of the tournament.
And of course, Sonata's star continues to rise and his stock continues to rise. That's why I love these tournaments, because tournaments like this can make a star, make you look at somebody who's been in these tag team matches for years and say, hey, this person can really go the distance and be one of the big names in the company. So
Mm-hmm.
kudos.
Mm-hmm. Next up, Bullet Club on Bullet Club. Tamatanga versus Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega counters the gun stun, then hits the snap German suplex, followed by a B trigger for a near fall. Kenny follows up with another B trigger, then he hits the one winged angel, and Kenny Omega gets the win, and Kenny Omega now has 4 points in the tournament. This match will be known for the promo that Tamatanga cut in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
match, where he basically called Kenny out for not wearing, he wore an elite shirt to the ring and not a Bullet Club shirt, and he was basically called out for it. And Tamatanga was like, "You want to call yourself the leader of the Bullet Club? Well, you need to be in Bullet Club if you're gonna be
Mm,
the leader."
mm.
And basically told Kenny he needs to get with it.
I think that's what I like about Bullet Club. They are not afraid to call their leader out. And I have to agree with Tamatonga. It's elite this and elite that, but what about the rest of the Bullet Club? It's not just elite and the rest of the Bullet Club. You got to lead everybody equally. And it seems like they hashed it out, but
There's some there's some tension there, right? Moto, where'd you go?
I mean, I hope there's not an eventual split, but they're teasing it. Overall, this was a good match though. The storytelling was definitely you know the big thing here over the wrestling.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Our main event: Big Mike Elgin versus Okada. Elgin goes for a burning hammer, but Okada counters with two rainmakers. Okada then hits the tombstone, followed by another rainmaker, and Okada gets the hard fought victory. And now Okada gets his 4th point of the tournament. Um, just another example of somebody taking Okada to the limit. It just kind of seems to be the theme of 2017 that, for most of these matches he's having with these guys who are challenging him have been some really high quality, give the champ your best shot type of matches. And he's getting by. So chalk up another one for Okada.
Well, that's true, but like, let's not dismiss Elgin's efforts here.
Oh
This
no,
was
no, that's what I'm saying. He definitely pushed him and had plenty of chances where he thought he was gonna win.
Oh yeah, especially when he did like those rainmakers to Okada. I was like, wow, like this was a great match, especially the last 10 minutes. I'll say this was just a lot of momentum going into it, hard hitting. Just they're trying to avoid each other's finishers, and then they get each other's finishers, but people are still getting up. It was very, very, very entertaining, very good match. And again, Okada taken to the limit, but not enough to bring the man down.
Right. So day 5, the A block is added again. Start off with Zack Sabre Jr. versus Yoshihashi
And his wig.
in his wig. Yoshihashi gets caught in the octopus lock. Zack Sabre Jr. transitions to the double arm submission. Zack Sabre Jr. with the win. Zack Sabre Jr. 4 points. I love his matches because they tend to stay in the ring. And, like you said, it's very technical. So it's a lot different than what everybody else is doing on the card. So I just think it's so fun to watch him wrestle.
I agree with you. He brings something needed and different to New Japan, where you're either going to get your stiff or you're going to get your powerful, your high flying. But Zack Sabre Jr. with his style brings a match differently every single time he's in the ring with someone in New Japan. So it is fun to watch him because you are going to get a different match than you're used to seeing in New Japan. And I like this performance from Zack Sabre Jr. He's just keeping it going, keeping the momentum going, and he's being up there in the rankings right now.
Hmm. Tanahashi beat Nagata with the high fly flow, and Tanahashi got his fourth point of the tournament. Then we got our next kind of upset where we had Naito versus Bad Luck Fale. Naito tries for the Destino, but Fale counters with the lariat and gets a near fall. Fale gives Naito the grenade, and then Fale gives Naito the Bad Luck Fall, and Naito loses to Bad Luck Fale. Bad Luck Fale now has 4 points.
Uh, uh, you know, this is New Japan. Ghetto knows what he's doing. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Ghetto knows what he's doing.
Ishii versus Kota Ibushi was next. Ishii gives Ibushi gives Ishii a stiff, straight kick to the face. Ibushi then follows that up with the last five powerbomb and he gets the win. And now Kota Ibushi has 4 points as well. This was just a display of Kota Ibushi showing that he can go toe to toe with Ishii because that's definitely what his game plan was. He wanted to show everybody how tough he was, and I think he accomplished it. But his body was all beat up for it though. He was whelped up and redded up all across his chest and his legs.
But this is Ishii, like the Stone Pitbull. This is the man that gripped the ring rope with his teeth. Do you remember that? I
I
remember
do
that.
remember that.
So of course Ibushi is gonna be battered and beaten up. He should. This is the Stone Pitbull, and he brought it. But this is Ishii, and you got to give props to Ibushi for beating him and standing toe to toe with him.
Hmm. Next up, we just had Goto versus Makabe to close the show. Makabe got the win. He hit Goto with the King Kong knee drop, and Makabe got his first 2 points of the tournament. Next, we move on to day 6. Had Michael Elgin and Kojima start off. I really like this match. Elgin hits the sunset flip power bomb from the turnbuckles. Elgin then gives Kojima the Elgin bomb, and he gets the win. Elgin gets his first 2 points of the tournament. I thought this match was really good, especially for an opening match. Man, they really got the crowd and everybody, into what was going to happen that day. So it was good.
Definitely agreed. A very good opener to get the crowd riled up. Hard hitting, of course, with Medium Mike and Koji going back to back. And it seems like whatever Kojima would do, Elga would come back and do it just a little bit harder. So you had that dynamic going between these two. But like the match, really, really good match.
Hmm. The next match was Tamatanga versus Evil. I really loved the finishing sequence to this match. They trade like a bunch of reversals as Evil's going for the gun stun, and then Tamatonga's going for the gun stun. Evil is going for everything is evil, and they're just kind of going back and forth, getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, and then all of a sudden Evil pulls it off and hits everything is evil and gets the win. So I really like that finishing sequence.
For me, the finishing sequence was basically the best part of the match. The beginning of it was just back and forth, and it was a bit monotonous and forgettable. So cool finishing sequence, pretty forgettable beginning part to the match.
Uh, Juice Robinson versus Minoru Suzuki. Unfortunately, Juice Robinson got assaulted and ended up getting put in the delayed God's Pile Driver, and Minoru Suzuki got his second victory of the tournament, and he has 4 points.
Assaulted, eh? Okay.
I mean, what else would you like to call it?
He got knocked the F out.
And then after he won, Minoru Suzuki went and still knocked out a young boy and kicked the dude and hit somebody with a chair. Like, dude, you won.
I told you he's a demon. Y'all don't listen to me. Y'all don't listen to me. Y'all get charmed by him going to interviews with his hats and smiles and stuff. But guess what? He knocks people out.
Next up, the match that hopefully nobody ever shows Jim Cornette. Kenny Omega versus Yano. They do a spot where Yano first tapes Kenny Omega's ankles together, and then Kenny Omega returns to favor. And so they're basically having a match, hopping across the ring with their ankles taped together. Yano, Kenny Omega gets some help from, was that Chase Owens or Heyman Page?
I think those Chase Owens.
Okay, Chase Owens comes down with some scissors and cuts him free. So Yano tries to get the scissors, but he doesn't. So Yano, with his ankle still taped, uh, Kenny gets up and hits a V trigger on Yano. Yano falls out of the ring, but he gets hung up on the ropes by his ankles. And of course, the ref is counting because, his body is technically out of the ring. And at 18, like his legs give way, he falls to the floor, and Kenny Omega wins by countout. So Kenny
Um,
Omega now has 6 points. Please
people,
don't, please don't ever show this match to Jim Cornette. Please.
I guarantee you, someone has already done it just out of spite, just to get him riled up. This is just one of those matches where I felt like Ghetto was like, we need this. We need this count out somehow. Let's just make it, light, and it was harmless. But again, we all know how the wrestling world is. I know y'all went crazy and bonkers over it. And everything's supposed to be a 60-minute technical, like, no, it's not that serious. Did I enjoy it? Mm, eh, but it was harmless. And now we just spent way too much time on this match that should not get this much attention.
It was pretty impressive, though, to see Kenny Omega hit a snap German suplex with his ankles taped
True,
together.
true.
So, yeah. It was definitely intriguing that they could still put on a semblance of a match with that being the basis of the whole match. Our main event, though, was far from comedy.
Oh yes.
That night we had Okada versus Sonata. Sonata does the moonsault until the skull end. Okada escapes and hits a Rainmaker. Both men are down. Okada then hits a second Rainmaker, but Sonata counters his third attempt. Okada then hits the German suplex. He follows that up with a third and final Rainmaker for the win. And Okada now gets his 6th point of the tournament. So, I mean, like, take the Mike Elgin match and raise it another notch. And that's where Sonata was, and taking Okada to the limit is even closer to getting beat. And man, athleticism on display supreme from both men. That reverse leapfrog that Sonata does, oh
Mm.
man, it is so gorgeous. The moonsault, picture perfect. Now he's doing the moonsault where he catches you into the skull end. That looks so effortless and sweet. So another showcase, as we're saying, as Moto said about Zack Sabre Jr., you can just get a chance to see people wrestle day after day after day and really get a chance to appreciate what they can do.
And of course, Sonata on display yet again. I'm telling you, they're just pushing him up, pushing him up, pushing him up. It does not hurt that he is easy on my eyes, but he is an athlete, a hell of an athlete. And can I just say, y'all wrestlers out there, stop letting Okada keep y'all wrists. Can y'all just do that for me, please? That's all I got to say about that. Stop it.
All right, we're going to get to the final night that we're going to review here on episode 10 of Cast of Strong Style, brought to you by CSPN. We get night 7 with Ishii starts off against Yoshihashi. Ishii hits the brain buster, gets the victory, and now Ishii has 4 points. We move to a match that I really enjoyed because I am the contrast of styles guy, as we had Bad Luck Fale versus Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. counters a grenade into a hanging triangle. Fale powers him up into a powerbomb position, but Zack rakes the eyes and pins Fale with a rolling cradle. And Zack Sabre Jr. gets his 6th point of the tournament. I thought this match was brilliant. Oh man, is basically Zack Sabre Jr. would hit like 8 moves, and then Fale would hit two and knock him down. And he'd struggle back up, and then he'd find a way to hit like 8 more moves. Then Fale would hit him with a lariat, knock him back down. So it was kind of cool to see him have to like chop him down to his size, get him down to a knee, and then kind of work him out from there. Just so smart, so logical, so technical. Praise Zack Sabre Jr. Thank you for coming to New Japan. Thank
Wow.
you, thank you, thank
Wow. Wow, sir. I will say that this was a fun match to watch, and it seems that they're determined to show different ways that Zack Sabre Jr. can win a match despite his size. Because some people will be like, he's not big, you know, he can't hang, but of course he can hang. You see how he defeated Bad Luck Fella. You see how he chopped down Tanahashi. It's just a matter of his his technical prowess and his way to outthink people in the situation. So I think this is a good showcase of that. I'm not gonna go all out like some people and say praise Zack Sabre Jr. I like seeing him. I like his skill, but this was a fun match for me, and I'm proud of him.
Hey, I stand who I want to stand for. If you don't stand for Zack Sabre Jr., it's
I
nothing
sure
wrong
don't.
with me. It's something wrong with you.
What? Wow.
So next up in an upset, we had Makabe beat Kota Ibushi. Gave him a King Kong knee drop, and he gets a win. Makabe gets his fourth point of the tournament in a match that was really a cool story. Nagata versus Naito. Nagata counters the Tornado DDT, but can't counter the Destino. But Nagata does kick out at two. Naito then hits another Destino, and he gets the victory, and Naito now has 6 points. This was kind of like, basically the Punk Kid against the New Japan Dad, and nobody plays Punk Kid better than Naito. So it was really cool, the story they were telling.
But Nagata has no points. Zero
No, he doesn't.
points.
He's got the crowds behind him, and he's given everybody really good matches. So I don't know. Maybe as we come to the turn here into the second half, maybe he'll sneak one or two out.
I hope so.
And the main event, very good. Tanahashi versus Goto. After a series of rolling net breakers and the sling blade that only get a near fall, Tanahashi hits Goto with the high cross body, followed by the high fly flow, and Tanahashi gets the win. Tanahashi now has 6 points as well.
It was a good match. There's something about Tanahashi. I read this somewhere that he hasn't let go of this ace status, and I'd have to agree. He's just singing "Go Ace" and doing the air guitar, and I don't know what it is, but I need something else from Tanahashi. Again, good match, but for some reason, Tanahashi, I need something from you. I don't know what it is. Figure it out. Get it together. But good match overall.
Do you know what we need from the people here at Castle Strong Style? We need them to support our sponsor. We need them to support Amazon. And you can do that by going to cspn.us, scrolling down the page that says supports podcast, click on that, and you'll see links to all our sponsors. Click on Amazon, get Moto Bullet Club shirt, get Moto a Sonata horns, Sonata mask. Even get her, which I have found, the Pro Wrestling Tees has got it, the Bullet Club umbrella.
Ah!
Very spiffy, by the way. Very spiffy. But you can find all those things and more at Amazon. And you can do that by going through cspn.us. Help keep the podcast free as a little bit of your purchase comes back to the show to help keep the bandwidth up and help keep the shows coming out for free each and every week here on CSPN. So CSPN and Amazon, do it today. Now, as we need some of that slow, eulogy type music, we we had a tragedy during the G1, a very integral part of Los Ingobernables de Japón met their demise at the hands of Bad Luck Fale
Yeah.
as during a 6-man or was that an 8-man tag team match. Um, Unfortunately, Daryl Takahashi was taken from us.
Too
Um,
soon. Yeah.
it was gone far too soon. Um, Brought so much joy to Hiromu Takahashi, especially, but all the fans and Naito especially. He was devastated. He went for the fist bump, and there was no Daryl to give
He's
him the
just
fist
a
bump.
kid. He was just a kid.
The whole New Japan fan base was just broken up. It's happened on Saturday, last Saturday. It's just unfortunate. Everybody, giving their, paying their respects. A lot of great fan art out there. Having Daryl ascending to heaven with all the members of LIJ circled around. It's just been some real troubling times for Takahashi. You need to keep him in our prayers.
He didn't deserve
He's
that.
he's basically walking around aimlessly and lost. He just and the worst part is Fale has no remorse, just gloating and trying to prosper off of the demise of innocent Daryl Takahashi.
Because he's a monster.
So I was trying to shield Moto away from it as long as possible, but she got wind of it and she saw for herself. And as you can tell, she's having a difficult time.
Excuse me, can I say something, Don?
Yes, sure, Moto.
Felt like we got beef, dog. We got beef. Sir, you don't just come in and you just destroy helpless cats. That cat did nothing but bring joy. Joy to the New Japan fan base and joy to Hiromu Takahashi. We got beef because not only did you destroy him, you destroyed him in such a way that I don't know if we could come back. They had to sweep his remains out of the ring. Sweep Daryl Takahashi remains out of the ring. And Takahashi just had a ball of fur with him and just went to the back. He couldn't even celebrate his victory. You should be ashamed, sir. And we got beef. And that little tribute video, I peeped that. That nonsense, that ain't a tribute. That's a farce. I'm coming
Oh,
for you.
you're talking about the 8-bit arcade video
No,
that
no. He had a video. He said I quote unquote feel bad for what I've done, so I've posted a tribute to Daryl. It was a little cute, and then it reminded everyone of the heinous crime that occurred that
oh,
night.
if you guys follow the 8-bit arcade uh, wrestling Twitter, it's very cool. Unfortunately, they do reenactments, and this week that was their reenactment.
Beef.
So
We've got it, Fale. You come see me, sir. Talk
this
to me
one's
about
that
that cat.
this one's dedicated to the memory of our homie Daryl Takahashi. Pour out some sake or whatever it is that you like to imbibe in the next time that you're watching New Japan and LIJ comes up. Just you know, take a swig for Daryl.
So hard. Maybe he'll come back. You know, cat's got 9 lives. You know.
Maybe, maybe.
Rest in peace, Daryl.
So I hate to end the try to make a transition from such a somber happening. But Moto, if you can pull yourself together here, can you just give us some of your final thoughts on New Japan, some of the things that have been happening to you. I know the last time we talked, you talked about this great meeting of Cody Rhodes and Ricochet that you were going to have, and you were going to try to run some things by these two gentlemen. So how did that turn out?
So, on July 14th, I had the pleasure of attending New England Wrestling to see their show, and it was really good. Their staff was welcoming and great, and I met the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He was so nice. He had a three-piece suit. He was looking clean, boy. The shoes was shining. It was everything. He's very put together, presents himself well. And I greeted him by saying, "Good evening, Mr. Nightmare. How are you?" And he was kind of taken aback by that, but that's fine. He was just very nice to me. I got to hold the Ring of Honor belt, which is heavy. He warned me it's heavy. It is very, very heavy. And he just gave me some tidbits about how heavy it is and just the experience. And I asked where Mrs. Nightmare was. She was in Atlanta at the time, and he missed her. And it was just a very overall great experience. And New England Wrestling was really, really good. And I missed Ricochet. I think someone tipped him off about me and my theory. I'll catch you next time, Ricochet. I'll catch you next time, sir. But anyway, at the end of the show, Cody, he had a great match with Ricochet, by the way. Ricochet left, I'm assuming, because he didn't want to be questioned for my theory, but that's fine. Cody actually stayed and took pictures with everybody, just about everybody who wanted to in the ring. So I got to do that again. And it was great. And if you have a chance, check out your local scene because they have really good matches and they take the effort to do it. So thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Shout out to you. Shout out to New England Wrestling. Shout out to you, Mr. Ricochet. I'm going to find ya. And shout out to my co-host, Don Telerente.
Well, thank you, Moto. I will definitely co-sign everything you said about Cody Rhodes. I had a chance to meet him last summer. Same thing. Three-piece suit, building us hot as blazes. He's the only one in there with a suit, and this was right after he, left to kind of do his own thing. So people were definitely wanting to see him and ask him questions, and he just, like you said, he's just presented himself so well to the fans and had a great match, and just everything that you would hope to get when you get a chance to meet somebody that you see on TV all the time and think that because you invite them into your home every week. And yeah, he definitely fits the bill as somebody who's a great ambassador of pro wrestling, and New Japan and ROH definitely have a good representative with
Absolutely.
Cody Rhodes. So give a final thought and final shout out to you, Moto. Thank you for being my co-host, setting out the time to watch all these great matches with me as well.
Of
It's been
course.
a fun week and a half, and I can't wait for it to wrap up so we can talk about the conclusion. We have the end. We're coming up on the end of the B block, which is going to give us the ultimate, Kenny Omega versus um, Okada match, the third match in their trilogy here is coming up. It's definitely going to happen. It's not like if this happens and that, no, it's going to happen. So that's going to set the wrestling world on fire with whatever comes out of that. So it's a really good time to be a fan of New Japan. So if you are a fan, turn your friends on, and if you're not a fan and you're just hearing this because you like listening to me and Odo talk about it, do everything you can to get the service and find the matches and keep up with the product. I know Access is doing the best they can, but it's nothing like being able to kind of watch it in real time instead of having to wait a week or two for Access to do what they need to do to keep you guys current. So other than that, Moto, you got anything else you want to add?
I do. And if you want to watch whatever we're talking about, just go to njpwworld.com. It's only $9.99, folks. Come on. You're going to get your money's worth and then some. I assure you. It's a great, great promotion to follow. You're not going to feel most of the time, you're not going to feel disappointed, I'll say. And there's something for everyone in this. They don't think their fans are dumb and that they're just going to, you know, consume whatever they feed out. They listen, they adjust, and that's what I like about them. And they're getting more English friendly, so go ahead, check them out.
Right. And also check us out. As I say, you can catch us on Twitter at Cast Strong Style. You can find us on the internet at cspn.us, also at wrestlecast.tumblr.com. You can also check us out on iTunes. You can check us out on SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher Radio. If you are an iTunes subscriber, rate, review the show, help us with our sponsors, and also any iPhone or Android app that allows you to listen to podcasts. You can catch us there. Just do a search for Cast of Strong Style. So for my co-host Moto, I'm your host, Don Delarente, and this has been episode 10 of Cast of Strong Style.